I've never done a podcast before, so I have no idea how this is going to go. But I thought, first of all, we'll talk about like your club, where you're from, how important kind of that journey was for you. And you can just jump in on this one, anyone. But actually, no, I'll start with Brad, because I kind of know your journey. So I think most people are from like the one club, stay with one club, which you kind of did, but you did go to other clubs and, yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, so started at King's Taekwondo in Hatfield, Doncaster. But then, like, my club were a small club, like not many people, especially on the fight side, it wasn't much of a fight club like it used to be. Like mine went to Europeans, stuff like that, and then you had Ricky Hatton, who could have made it, but then after
Ricky Hatton? Ricky Wiley, me.
Yeah. We'll start that again. I'll start the answer again.
I just thought we'd just clear that one up. Yeah, Ricky Wiley, he was good, wasn't he? Bless him. Yeah. God love him.
Yeah. So then after that, like mine took a bit of a back stop, and then when we joined, because of my sister joined because of Shannon, a friend, and then I got dragged along, mum being a single parent, and then I was counting and kicking in Korean on the side. I was only 4 at the time, and he was like, all right, if he can join in, we aren't messing about, because I was just so hyperactive. They were like, all right, we'll let him have a go. Did, and then it just started from there. And from one of the get-go, mine were like, I could see bits of Ricky and Brad, and I reckon and I became like his protege. He was like, I reckon we can make some out of him, and we did. But then,
yeah.
But then on the way, so it got to a point. So there used to be quite a few. There were me, Charlotte, Aidan, Mason, Jack. There were a few of us like good lads, but then people went to different clubs, and then it got to a point where I then trained in the adults class, but I was tiny, like I was a tiny kid. And mine were like, all right, we need to get Brad trained in other places. Yeah. So we phoned up Gary. I'm like, oh, Gary, I've got this lad who can do something here. Can he come and train with you? And then he let me. I went to the Dome on a Friday class, and then I think it helped me a lot, but it also helped Gary's lads at the time, because they didn't train on the Friday, because that was more for the older guys. And he went, oh, I'll bring some people in for Brad. And then I trained at Monday at the school in Armthorpe. So I went from doing Tuesday, Thursday at King's, then I went to doing Monday, Friday at All Stars, and then I met the NTC guys, Mark, Ty, all them I beat Ty at Nationals, and then he beat me in the comp just after that. And Ty used to just school people at the time, so Mark was like, who's this kid from? And then started training at NTC on weekends, like Saturday, and then NTC then turned into this National Taekwondo Club, or what it is today, because went from just them training
together. Taking over the world.
Exactly. Went from them just training together in Nottingham, then inviting me down, then they invited a few guys like Kambu from Kanghang, and then it just become anyone from anywhere, come down on this Saturday and let's have a spar, let's have a scrap. That's
amazing though, isn't it? Like kind of, I think what's amazing is, and this doesn't happen with every club coach, like your club coach that you still idolise and have a lot of respect for, like lets you just go and, you know what, I'm going to let you go to all these other clubs to get big, to get better and get experience, because I can't give you that. But then still kind of keeping that connection, don't you, to Doncaster and like your club and everything?
Yeah, I think it's what you need from a coach, because you can have people who are too big, too much of an ego. Like everyone's got an ego in some sorts, but you can tell mine loves the sport and he wants the best for me in like the sport, and that's. So he realised if he said, no, you can't go anywhere, eventually I was going to grow too out of the club, because I needed people to spy. If I want to become my best, and he knew that, he went, I want Brad to be the best. So I'm going to put my ego aside of keeping him to myself, let him go the best, because I'm still went to train Tuesday, Thursday. I still helped out at the club, and I've got a friend, a mentor for life from that, what I wouldn't have had if he didn't do that. And I got more mentors and more a family more than a friendship, where then Gary, Mark, Moores, and then I trained at Ultimate as well. So I trained everywhere, but then but all of them realised, like Gary realised, so I then started training at Ultimate Wednesday, and that changed to Friday instead of All Stars on a Friday, because the guys from Gary's club ended up leaving, quitting, moving on to something else. So he was like, yeah, no problem, I want you to be the best. Like, amazing, I reckon you can do that, and that's what you want from an instructor. You want someone who's passionate about the sport rather than a profitability.
And let you grow, and then you never kind of leave, do you? Exactly. Like, I still have connections to my club. Like, I still do what I'm told.
Friday night.
And I was going to say, like, yeah, Rebecca, can you resonate with like some? I know you stuck with the same club?
Yeah, I stayed at the same club from when I was 5.
And what is that club actually? We should just...
It's Caledonian Taekwondo. But we were really lucky. Like, we grew up and it was kind of like it was like a mini sort of cadet training as we were growing up, because I think there was probably about 12 of us, all around the same height, same age. So like boys and girls, and we all just used to train together. And then obviously as we got to hitting like 12, 13, 14, some of the people my age started like doing other things. Boys were playing football, girls were doing like other things. And I ended up growing a lot, being a lot bigger than the people my age.
I can resonate, we all can, yeah.
Yeah, so then I ended up like moving to the seniors and the adults, and again, like we had quite a good group of adults that I trained with. So I kind of just, every step that I took and every progression that I took, there was always a level to go to. Nice. So yeah, when I outgrew like some of the adults, I'd move on to the bigger, and then when I was bigger than the biggest girls, I'd move on and I'd train with the men, and there was always a step to push, and there was always a progression. So I was a lot luckier in that sense with training partners.
I think again I was quite lucky growing up, because Bradley did go to my club, but then when I was younger, that was probably one of the best clubs, I guess, at the time. The starter of the,
Doncaster.
Yeah, a bit of a, lucky to kind of walk into that club, and probably similar to yourself. I mean, would you say, like, you're moving up these levels in your club, would you say that you were always kind of pushed then a little bit out of your comfort zone sometimes?
Yeah, I don't think I was ever allowed to stay in my comfort zone. Because it was like, it wasn't just training with, started off when I moved to training with the adults. Like, I was training with Laura when I was like probably 11, 12, and I was like 50 kilos or something. And then I was just really big in comparison to Laura. So then I would train with Carla, who was a -67.
I remember her as well,
yeah. But I was really small fighting her, so it was always like a push. So at first she would just beat me up. They both just beat me up at first, until I started grew tall, and I was like, oh wait a second, my legs are as long as yours now. So yeah, and then obviously Carla is a doctor now. She was a doctor, so she was doing in hospitals a lot, and then I was training with like the -68 boys, and then I never had a chance to go to training just dilly-dally around. It was
just
always
relax and it'd be easy.
I was just getting beat up, and then like I was really lucky as well, because we had like ours was like a centre, our club, so there was weightlifting teams and everything, so I was able to go and train with them to like physically get stronger and get better. So I couldn't have asked for anything more from her.
Again, it's almost like fate, isn't it? Like you walk into that particular club and it's everything that you need to help you to be where you are today. But I was going to say, if we kind of move on from like the club coaches, interesting to kind of like get your thoughts on the coaches that you're with now, and like how important it is that you've had that incredible relationship with the coach that you have now. So,
I think like we all go through different things, and it's kind of the one consistent, especially when like you and Martin have been together since day dot, and as soon as Turan moved to the UK, I've been with him since then. And just having a foundation with your coach of like trust and respect and just an honest, open communication, it kind of just builds where doesn't really matter what's going on or what's happening. You both know what the target is, what the aim is, and you just focus on that, and you do whatever you need to do to focus on that, and having those underlying values and just things help that. So.
I mean, I couldn't ever imagine it with you two, especially like, could you ever imagine not having that coach who that's such a strong relationship? It's like, I can't see it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
What about you? I mean, as I said, you've been with Martin like your whole senior career, pretty much?
Yeah, so Martin became a junior coach 2015, I think ended 2014, 2015. So in my last year of juniors, he was one of the coaches. He wasn't my coach, I was with Tony. But then he took the sessions, and then I remember at the end of 2015, we did like another junior camp to basically who's going to be in the junior team 2016, and that's when I first turned a senior. But that first year as senior, they still let you train in the juniors as you're getting up to it. But Martin brought me in and a few other guys in, because he was becoming a senior coach at the time, and they all said, anytime you come and train or you want to train, doors open for you. And I took that opportunity. if they're going to give me a foot in the door, especially when there was like 568s at the time, it wasn't an easy category to pave your weight into the team. Like, I did win the Junior Europeans, but it doesn't mean you're going to be successful in seniors at all. So I'm going to take that. So my college, I only did 3 days a week. So some reason they did full subjects. So I did a full day of maths Tuesday, full day of physics Wednesday, full day of IT Thursday. But that left me Monday and Friday available. So my mum drove me to Manchester every Monday and Friday from January to July. And Martin pretty much became my coach from then. For them sessions, he looked after me. He made sure I knew the plan, knew what the training sessions were, gave me feedback from them sessions. Even though it wasn't my coach because I wasn't in the team, he took over my plan for that side to try and progress me, and then joined the team. Me and Rebecca joined on the same day in July 2016.
Oh, I did not know that. Oh, that's nice. It's quite cute, isn't it? Oh.
And then he became a full-time coach from there, and then, I couldn't see it going any different. I've always said that he's the coach for me, and it's same as Rebecca said, that trust process and trusting in each other, not just trusting each other's ability, but I know mine gives it 100% what he can in any way. He's passionate about the sport, and that passion can come out in a bit of anger, a bit shouting sometimes, but I need that.
Sometimes.
I need that. If I make a mistake, him shouting my name, and I acknowledge that, and he sees me by nodding. And even from that, him shouting that and me nodding, we've just had a conversation.
Yeah.
People don't know what a conversation is, but he understands I know exactly why, and the same happens in training, and we just understand each other. We understand we both work hard, and he knows that he'll get everything. I won't mess about, in the sense of take sessions easy. I'm here to try and win the Olympics, and I'll give everything to do that. And I know his look at all the footage of the fights. I know he'll plan everything. I know he'll back me in whatever I need. So we've had a great relationship, and it's made us successful so far, and we're ready to finish it off.
Absolutely, you're smashing it, both of you. I mean, just to you mentioned your mum, and I know your family is super supportive. I mean, I know Brad, your mum is literally a staple of British Taekwondo, isn't she? She's at every competition. She's literally knows everything. I mean, how much of your kind of career do you owe to your mum and dad running you across the motorway? And I know your mum and dad were up and down the motorway for hours and hours, but...
Yeah, I owe everything to my mum. I said for people, you can be the most successful or best athlete without that financial backing, without the family backing you, you're nothing. Because who's going to take me to training every day? Who's going to pay for me to go to competitions, go to training? So my mum could have easily gone, even obviously she's already put a lot of money into it, so she might as well finish it off, bring me Monday and Fridays. But they could easily just go, that's a bit too far for me. Where she changed her working hours and made it around my schedule, because she was I believe my son can get here. And I said there's times where when I was younger, it's when you just do I have to go training? She's yeah. It's either that or quit.
I did exactly I do exactly the same with my kids. I remember my mum and dad was exactly the same as your mum, and and I think I get home and I think, I can't bother to take them to Taekwondo, but not one part of me ever ever says to the kids, we're not going because of how I feel. I think having that inspiration is super helpful for when say you guys have kids in the future and stuff, it's such an inspiration to have that, because so many kids start things and stop because the parents haven't got that that dedication instilled in them. I mean, your mum and dad was driving hours and hours to get to Manchester and up and
4
down.
hours up and down. I think there's that aspect of it, and my mum and dad done exactly the same. They couldn't have done any more, but there's also the aspect of throughout, I've had so many injuries throughout my career, but it would have been so easy for them to turn around and say, just don't, it's not worth it. Yeah, just try something else. But because they knew how much it meant to me, it meant the same to them. So it was figuring out ways around things, and if I'm going through a tough patch, they're always there to talk to, and it's always going to be, because they know that I want to do it so bad and that I'm all in on it, they're all in on it as well. So it's not you don't have to do it. It's okay, let's figure out a way around it. Let's figure out what we can do. There's that side that's having your parents also there to support you mentally and emotionally, because it's not an easy process for any athlete, but there's the physical side to it, and then there's knowing that they're always going to support you no matter what, and even if I had decided, oh, no, yeah, you're right, it would have been, okay, that's fine.
It's just priceless, isn't it, that support?
But you know why you're doing it. Why you're doing it to win the Olympics, so think about it, and we can figure out a way to get around it. And yeah, that part's just as important as any other part, I think.
Just gives you a stepping stone, doesn't it? If you're coming from a club that supports you and lets you flourish, you're coming from a background where your parents are able to kind of support you, because some aren't, which is it's difficult for some, but you do the best that they can, and reap the rewards for you guys. The process get to see you stand on the podium.
Molds us as people rather than just athletes as well. Like I said, parents just show you where, what you should be like as a person, how the kind, and obviously they're our parents, so hopefully they do everything for us. But in a sense, taking us everywhere, doing everything for us. If, like Rebecca said, if I turn around and said to Mum, Mum, I don't want to do it anymore, she might question it. But in the end, if I give a good plan, a good solution, she'd be like, all right, that's fair enough. You've took it as far as you can take it. So it shows what I should be as a person in general, and the same way my club coaches, they've moulded you into who I am today, and that said, taking that chip off your shoulder, with mind going, oh, go and train at a different club, and they put me first every time, every step of the way, and it shows when it comes to me having to do that for someone else, and I want to do that for someone else and be there in that same position, because without that, some people aren't as lucky to get that. So it's trying to continue that cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to the Olympics in a few weeks, so I guess I'm going to ask Rebecca, first Olympics, what are you most looking forward to? Other than Taekwondo, what are you looking forward to?
Other than standing at the top of the Olympic
podium.
Other than that,
obviously, yeah.
I think just being amongst everyone, the best athletes in the world, just embracing the experience. And my granny said to me, I told you, she says, oh, I can't believe one of my grandkids is going to the Olympics. And until you kind of realise that sort of stuff, you maybe, what's the word? Take it for granted a little bit.
Absolutely,
but just not taking any of it for granted, and making the most out of the whole thing and just embracing it all.
I think that's such an amazing attitude to have, and I think a lot of people go to the Olympics with a lot of pressure and oh, I can't enjoy it because I'm not going to focus, and I think I probably did that myself, absolutely. So I didn't know any better, and I think it got to a point where I was why am I not enjoying this? Why? It takes the pressure off a bit, doesn't it?
It's hard for athletes because we're different. Especially, like I said in some sports, you might know your PB might get you a bronze, or you might get you might not medal. But and you're but I get to enjoy and I am one of the best in the world. I might not be but we all go, especially in how hard it is to qualify in Taekwondo. We know we've got a very good chance of going and win gold. The Olympics is the Olympics in the day. It might not happen. It might happen. We're going to do our best to get that to happen. But that's what we have in our mind. It's we can go and win gold. It's gold. But the Olympics is an experience. It's the best of the best every 4 years. And your gran said, my Nana said the same. She always says, I'm so proud of what you've achieved, and whatever happens, it wouldn't change that. My mum said it after Tokyo. She wasn't disappointed that I didn't win. She was disappointed because she knew how I felt about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that she felt that same resonation of the sadness, because she knew how sad I was in that moment. And so for this one, it's different. One is Tokyo. We didn't have any family there.
Didn't even have a crowd or anything. No. So it is a kind of.
This is my real first Olympics. To actually experience it, experience your village, experience the fans. So that's the thing. It's hard because it is every 4 years. You're oh, it's about performance, but it's for some people it is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We both might never go to an Olympics again. So you don't want to be sat there in 50 years and regretting, or even 20 years regretting the experience. You're I should have done this, I should have done that. I shouldn't have not hated the training every day because I'm different things. So it's just trying to relax, know we're in a good position, and just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I think in Taekwondo, the hardest part is qualifying. It's staying consistent for however many years you have to.
Isn't it? Consistency, it's crazy.
We've both done that. We've both been through the hardest parts. The day of the Olympics isn't going to be as tough as what we've already done. So it's just remembering that, and we've both been at either end of the being so focused and so serious, and kind of just taking it as it comes, and it's just. What's going to happen on the day is going to happen on the day, as long as we do everything we can to make sure that we get the best out of ourselves, and we leave knowing that we couldn't have done it anymore in the training and the everything. And There's nothing more you can do, is there?
I mean, you've both got quite similar messages. I think how, like, do you feel lucky that you're both doing this together? Like, or how do you feel about you both, like, doing this Olympics together, you know, as a couple, have that, like, unit? Like, for me, outside, you're super lucky because I've kind of had that situation and it was really helpful to have someone who's I'm with, living my life with, to be there with me in such an amazing experience. Like, how's that feel at this moment, like you're both doing it together?
It's up and down. Like, in general,
Let's just be honest as we can, yeah.
Like, because obviously it's good because, like, if you had a significant other where you come back and they don't understand the sport, it's like I could go home to a weekend and my mum understands it. Mum's lived the sport. She knows about making weight. August when has it, she'll be like, this won't hurt you. It's only this cake and this, and it's like, no, like we understand it and we understand the hard days, but it's like we could both come home in a mood from training. So it's like hard to help and aid that. But
especially when we're training together and we've both caused each other to be in the mood and sparring.
Farm dieting.
Or if he's dieting,
I'm a heavyweight.
Yeah, how bad? Yeah.
And I like to eat.
Yeah.
But it's more like we know what we're living now, so we understand it and we understand what people are going through. We've probably gone through it as well. Like everyone goes through the same things, sometimes in different ways, but we understand how hard the sport is, and just glad we both got to qualify at the same time, because it wouldn't have been nice if one qualified.
Like outside looking in, it's a really nice, mushy feeling to see that you guys are going together. I think that's because I'm a mum. I'm just like, oh.
I think this part is the part that will probably be even more enjoyable, because like the qualifying part, like he says, like if one of us was going and the other person wasn't going, like, and there's like, there's a lot of stuff that has like been, I know it's been tough for me, and I think I know it's been tough for Brad. But now we're both going, we're both in really good positions, so we can enjoy doing it all.
Together,
and,
especially like we're going like kitting out on Sunday.
Yeah, that'll be so much fun.
If it worked out the wrong way, we have me, Rebecca, and Caden in one house. So say one of us qualified or two of us qualified, one of us be coming home with the kit like, yay, and like, I'm sorry. But like we've all qualified, we're all going to get the kit, we all get to experience it, all a good friend group, and it's like, we said it's the Olympic house and we've got our mascot Etta.
Are you ready for the amount of kit though? Because me and Steve, when we were both athletes, like he was a coach, and we both had the kitting out day. At the one time we lived in like a 1-bedroom apartment, and I was like, this is...
The living room's gone.
I got rid of 9 bags of clothes.
I made her get rid of clothes.
You don't make me do it, but I got rid of, I got rid of 9 bin bags of clothes to make space.
Where did the rest go?
In my wardrobe.
She was like, oh yeah, I'll get rid of these, and Brad, these massive bags of clothes that I still don't wear, can we put it in the attic, please?
I made space.
Listen, I've got like a couple more things I want to say. One, just going off that, I don't even want you to comment, but I've been to a few Olympics and I have seen at every closing ceremony someone gets proposed to. I'm not saying nothing, but I've seen it, just putting that out there. But the last thing...
If anyone wants to pay for the wedding.
Putting that out there. The last thing I'm going to ask, because I don't particularly like the word regrets. I don't think like we should have them in life. But if you could kind of go back to the, I don't know, let's say 12-year-old Rebecca, 13-year-old Rebecca, if you could give her any advice, what would it be?
Keep doing what you're doing. Don't change anything. You're going to like just take it day by day again. Make sure you're giving 100% in all your sessions, and it's going to go like that. But it's all going to make me into what I am now. So just take everything as it comes and get your head down and keep working.
Nice. Brad, anything different?
Yeah, I say that.
What would you say to the hyperactive 12-year-old?
I say this a lot. I said it earlier. I say everyone's got a different time clock. Some people do just win for everything all through their life and then go in the Olympics. Fair enough. Lucky for them. But
we're not all that lucky.
Like I medalled at juniors, and like I did it. Something switched when my last year of juniors, and then when I won junior Euros and like opens at that point, I don't know what switched, but my mentality just changed, and then the stuff what I was doing in training managed to come out in the ring. But before that, in my cadets and juniors, I got medals, but amongst the GB guys, I was one of the best always, and always like beat winning test matches. It were up and down sometimes, but then it'd go abroad, and the people in my weight from GB would always do better than me. Like it couldn't click out when I went abroad, and that might be mentality, nerves. I couldn't figure it out, but I could have gone right then, sacked it off. I'm not better. They're going to do better than me. I'm never going to do anything. But I remember I've been told, as Steve said this to me, I think you mentioned it once, Tony Grisman said the same thing. He went, keep doing what you're doing and you can be here when they're all not. And like, I'm mates with all of them, like but they went from winning juniors and then that was the end of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, I'm not here for that. I'm here to be the best in the world at the World Championships, at the Olympics. That is my goal, always has been. Everything's a stepping stone to that. You had Rebecca who went and won everything and then
snapped an ankle, snapped an ACL.
Got unlucky
Still
with
here,
injuries,
though, still here.
but she still dug through it and then still come out on the other end. And that's the thing, you've got a different time clock. Like I managed to not have a great juniors until my last year, and winning the junior Euros is still like really good. But then I went and turned up on the senior scene quite instantly and started doing well on the seniors. And I wouldn't have expected that. Most people wouldn't have expected that. And we said Tokyo was a goal, but the aim really is Paris. And then it came to 2019 going, if you have a good year here, like there's a good chance you get Tokyo, then won the Worlds, and it's like, we're going Tokyo. So like everyone's just got a different time to when they're going to peak. But if you really believe you can do it and you give everything throughout all of it to get to that point and believe yourself, back yourself, you've got your family to back you, we both proved that it can happen.
Amazing. I think that's, for people listening, that's amazing advice. And I just want to say massive good luck in Paris. We'll all be cheering for you, and thank you so much
Thank you
for having a chat with me.